What's up, everybody? We're back. The best war gaming with a Codex review, World Eaters Codex review. My name's Colton. My co-host Taylor, and we got special guest Nick on today because he also plays World Eaters.
Nick,
I dabble in the blood.
Yeah.
Look, we're gonna start this off. Nick's already done it. We're gonna start this off with the ceremonial before we even talk about anything. It's trash. Put him up there.
Goodbye, sweet prince.
Dude's going on both shelves.
Bye.
He sucks.
Dude,
But
surely if Angron's bad, Magnus will stay good, right? Like he'll stay as good as he is.
Mortarian's nuts now. Let's go over the first thing that changed. Let's talk about the army roll first. No more feel no pains. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So you still get to roll 8 dice.
Crazy.
No more advanced charge or feel no pains.
That's why I was so excited for the Slaughterbound character, was because, dude, like, they're going to have feel no pains. They're going to be super tough to kill, and they're going to bring stuff, like, bring a model back. Mm-hmm. So them not having the feel no pain anymore is a huge deal.
They're just going to die. So any double, you can reroll charge rolls, which, I mean, is not bad. I feel
it's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Most of the time, you don't really need to reroll charge rolls.
Yeah.
This one, Nick, why don't you tell me about this one? Go ahead and tell us about
that one.
This
so 6-inch pile and consolidate is pretty good. It lets you do slingshot mechanics to like bypass fights first. We'll get into data sheets later, but there's a certain data sheet that really likes this. But as far as like the way the identity of this army has changed, this helps it get into people's faces and really bog down people's ability to score the game.
Oh yeah, dude, it's so good. I'm excited to take this one a lot. We still have the 4-up fight on death for any double 3+. I rarely use this. I just don't like fight on death on a 4-up very much.
Yeah,
it's very swingy.
It's super swingy. Any double 4+ or triple single? I don't remember what this was before. Was this double 3+ before?
I believe sustain was the 3 and lethals was the 4.
So
lethals
you can still take sustain lethal. Still very, very good. You're going to be taking this a lot more now since you don't have the guarantee 2 you almost always took.
Mm-hmm.
And then double 6+ or triple 3+. Dead wounds, but only against infantry because exalted 8-bound would go crazy if all of them got dead wounds.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So is it still the case where you can get like a bad roll where you only get like what was the bad roll before? Like you could only pick one blessing?
You can still roll that because you roll 1 of everything and then 3 of one thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of more ways to reroll dice now, though.
Yeah, true.
A lot of data sheets have ways to
and
reroll.
get
but
more
I mean,
dice.
you can get unlucky potentially.
Dude, hell yeah.
Let's go for the first data sheet. I don't even want to read it. Somebody else talk about it. I don't want to look.
Wait, how much does he cost now, Nick? Do you have the points pulled up?
It's 385, which is a little bit more.
I thought it was 400.
No, I think it's 385 is the league points for him, which isn't terrible considering he's not a force multiplier anymore.
Yeah. Let's see. So he gained dev wounds. His profile stayed the exact same. He always moved 14 before. He is one of the few data sheets that did not get extra movement added since we lost +2 to move also in the things. Both of his weapons gained dev wounds. He lost a pip of AP on his strike, and then his sweep is 2 less attacks now, but it's still AP2 damage too. Strength 7 kind of hurts.
Yeah, it was 8.
Yeah, because you're not wounding space marines on 2s.
Trip. Womp womp womp.
Mm-hmm.
So his new blessings or his new buffs you can take, if he's on the battlefield, rule out 6 of the blessing rolls, which is good in case you roll that one bad roll. He got the aura that Exalted 8-bound have, where it's a leadership test.
My God,
and you have to stay, which I feel like if you were going to give this to Angron and he's so expensive anyways, I feel like it should be about like -1 or something.
Yeah.
Because I'm not relying, like 8-bound, if you throw them out, whatever, they're 155 points for 3. If they fail it's whatever, but that sucks. And then while World Eaters units within 6 of this model ignore any and all modifiers to the move, advance, and charge rolls, and then weapon skill and hit modifiers to roll, which now that he doesn't have rerolls helps him a lot. Especially with other stuff around him.
Way worse than before.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you were always going into +1 to charge or reroll hits, right?
What
was the third one?
Hits. +1 attack, I think, for stuff near him.
Yeah, maybe.
Dude, that's how little I've seen it used. Is it's always either +1 to charge or reroll hits.
Reroll hits is just better on paper than +1 to hit. Or,
Yeah.
Dude, those are a huge downgrade.
mm-hmm. So you still can revive him. However, you can only do it on the battle round roll now. You can't do it with the strat where you do a new one. And if you do that, you can't activate any other blessings, and you cannot rapid ingress him. You just have to put him down in your movement phase. And he's only at 8 wounds. Very, very, very worse than it was.
Honestly, I would have been fine if they kept him exactly the same, but just made the change where he just comes down to the next movement phase.
Yeah,
because
for sure.
Every fucking time I play against you, Colton, he fucking dies, and then he's getting rapid ingress. Every time.
You know what they should have done is in the BCP app, if you were World Eaters player, it should have had a checkbox for did Angron come back, and that way they can look at every World Eater player win and be like, oh, there's an asterisk next to all these.
Yup.
True.
It sucks because it's like it's a nerf to the blessings, it's a nerf to you can't rapid ingress, and it's only 8 wounds. It's just he got triple nerfed on it.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. I'm sure he'll go down more in points.
They kind of like you almost lose a turn of using it because you can't rapid ingress. So you're deep striking and then trying to rely on a 9-inch charge. So that's just it's bad.
Yeah.
And you don't get +1 to it anymore.
And with only 8 wounds, so
you definitely can't YOLO him anymore like you used to be able to do.
You want to talk about Kharn?
Kharn's still good. He's probably the only way Berserkers are going to kill things these days is when you attach a leader to them, outside of obviously like Berserker and stuff where their lethality goes up a bit.
Now that I think about it, his gun didn't get rapid fire. I think it lost a ballistic skill though. Did it hit on 2s before?
Let me check. Probably did.
I see he didn't get rapid fire. He lost a pip of strength, I think. No, he was strength. He actually gained a pip of strength. I think it was strength 6.
He gained strength. Yeah, he was strength 6, and his ballistic skill did go from a 2 up to a 3 up. His pistol before was always supercharged, and it didn't have hazardous before.
Yeah, it was just this profile without hazardous.
Yep.
That sucks.
Dude, so he comes with a Rhino tax because it's at the end of the charge phase, so you could just go turn 1 and then not get into combat with anything, so you have to put him and his unit in a Rhino, and then him coming back with 3 wounds remaining. Are there any for normal characters where you roll it on a 2 up, they come back? They normally come back with full wounds, right?
I think Ordained Sacrifice and Inheritors comes back with 3 wounds or something like that. And the Necron one is half wounds.
The new EC one is D6 wounds. It varies. Some of them are full, some of them are
true.
Yeah.
I think I don't know if this is better than Guaranteed Final Death. It just depends on the matchup.
Yeah. The argument could be made that you run them solo now because of that, because that's what people were doing back in the day anyways with Bill and stuff, is you just make him annoying and put him in a corner, and if they kill him, so what? You stand back up on a 2 up.
Yeah. But he still has rerolls. He still has his thing where he kills his own dudes, which on less than a 6 up, but he's still good. He went down in 15 points. He's 85 points now. I think he's pretty good. You'll see him. Yeah. Lord on Juggernaut.
Juggerlord.
You want to talk about this guy?
Yeah, I like this new data sheet a lot more than his old one. Like the old one, he had the rerolls on it, and then he did charge mortals, and this one, he is a pretty good delivery mechanism for Berserkers now. Outside that, though, like he still suffers from AP1 on his melee. I wish these guys just got a little bit more AP on them for being World Eaters characters.
Dude, AP1 is bad. It's real bad.
Which in Berserker Warband, the AP strat, is that only Berserkers or is it anything that
it's
charges?
Berserkers and Jackals, and it's only the weapons equipped by the Berserkers and Jackals, I believe. It doesn't extend to the characters.
Ew.
Do you think that you potentially run this guy with a 20-man Berserker squad to just tie shit up because it's got the 3-inch engagement range?
It's 3-inch engagement range, but it's only when you're fighting. It's not constant 3-inch engagement range.
Right.
You could. I think the Berserkers, it's 360 points for 20. I think it's just too expensive for how fast they die.
God damn. Yeah. Why are they so expensive?
Real quick, I think I misspoke because I thought you were talking about the Vessel stratagem.
Yeah,
the Berserker Warband stratagem hack and slash it does extend to the entire unit.
Okay, that helps a little at least then.
Yeah.
That helps a little bit. He did go to a 3-up save instead of a 2-up.
Yeah.
But him with Blood Crushers is cool in that one attachment.
Yeah.
The MOE?
This dude is a lot cheaper. It's way cheaper now. Thank
Yeah,
goodness.
Is he like
50.
60 points down?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
He was
100 points on my list just opened up.
Yeah. He still hits hard. What did he had fight first. He lost fight first is what it is.
Yeah, he had fights first, and then he himself. Oh, he still has the same ability: the hit and wound rerolls versus character units.
Yeah. So he's
Getting
still
a CP every time you kill a character unit is very good.
Yeah. I would have liked to have taken with 5-mans, but we'll talk about that.
When we get to it.
You get to reroll. So you can reroll advanced rolls, and then every time you go on surge, you can reroll the D6, which is it's a good ability. It's just I think the biggest thing is that he's dirt cheap now compared to what he was.
Yeah, for sure.
And he still could snipe a character out of a unit very easily.
True, because he's got dead wounds and precision.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets to reroll all of it. Where is maybe Invocatus isn't or is further back? I thought he would have been already. This dude's goated. So good.
With the sauce, brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's got the same thing as the Emperor's Children one, where you get lone op while you're next to a infantry. He still has dev wounds on the charge, and now he has Gilliman or some other abilities where you get to reduce the strat of his CP once per battle round on any World Eaters unit within 12.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Very
Pretty good. Is that just what all of the demon princes on foot are going to with the lone op within 3 inches of an infantry unit?
That's what it seems like.
Seems like, yeah.
Yeah.
I was crossing my fingers when this got leaked that was going to be World Eaters units and not locked to like infantry units for his reduced strat. Because I really wanted to play him in Gore Track.
Yep, and you just reduce all the Rhino abilities. Yeah, I think he will be in a lot of lists. Just
For
between
sure.
load op and reducing CPs, he's so good. His sweep gained 2 attacks and a pip of AP.
Yeah, dude.
Relevant.
That's very
especially with some of these enhancements we're going to talk about later. That extra AP is going to go a mile.
Yup, is good. The Winged Prince. You want to go over the Winged Prince?
Wait, why does the other guy got a picture and this guy doesn't?
I don't think any of the winged ones have a picture for some reason.
What the heck? The wings don't fit in the picture.
He's too big, brother.
It'll make people confused.
Yeah. His stuff is very similar to the EC one, right? Except he doesn't have a -1 damage.
Yeah.
The EC one does the battle shock test and then has -1 damage, but this guy is he does flyover mortals.
I don't think the Emperor's Children does have the battle shock test, does it?
It's just -1 damage and then the
Yeah.
dumb tank shock mortals.
Yeah, he does charge
Yeah.
mortals. This guy does flyover mortals. That's what it is. Yeah, I'm not stoked on this one.
Yeah, this one's whatever. The battle shock being only -1 if you're below half is whatever.
Yeah. I think I run him in vessels because he's got 14 inches of move. Like, he's very fast.
But these charge mortals are nothing compared to the Emperor's Children one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you only have 6, and the other one is like, well, I guess it's however many wounds it has left, but it's 10.
Yeah, that one's way better.
Yeah.
This one's way better than the other one.
Mm-hmm.
The new guy Slaughterbound.
Wait, how fast is the one on foot move?
10, I think.
And he got +2.
That's still pretty fast.
A
Still
lot of
pretty
these
fast.
data sheets, since we lost my +2 to move in the rolls, a lot of them got extra movement added on to their data sheets.
Why the fuck are demon princes moving 10 whenever my dreadnoughts and custodies are only moving like 6 fucking inches? Can we get some extra movement, please? I would say that they're probably equivalent.
This guy's as fast as Angron.
True. Dude, they both got wings.
The
Slaughterbound.
Slaughterbound. This guy does not look like he's got a bloodthirster inside of him.
It's just a whittle one. A whittle budfuster.
It's strength 8,
Whittling.
AP2 damage 2. I wish he would have gotten anti-vehicle on his weapon too, since he's supposed to be between
True.
the two. But well, I guess they wouldn't because he has dev wounds.
So like the E champ in Votan can have a fucking D6 weapon, but this guy with a bloodthirster in him can't have like a D6 +2 weapon.
I thought this guy was going to be 3 damage on a sheet or D6 +1 damage with like 4 or 5 attacks.
Yeah.
That would have made sense with how they hyped it up. That dude's got the dog in him. You know what I'm saying?
Which
2 damage.
True. He, like the Demon Princes, is a very good. He'll take enhancements very well. There's a lot of good enhancements to put on him, especially because he goes just base. He can go up to 9 attacks with dev wounds.
Yeah, true.
And he gets to return bodyguards, which isn't. It's a lot easier to chew through 8-bound and Exalted 8-bound now than it was, but there's still T6 with 3 wounds. So that if you have even 1 or 2 guys left, you can bring some back.
Why didn't they just give him Deep Strike and Scout 6 if the only 2 things he can lead is 8-bound and Exalted 8-bound? Why did it have to be when he's leading?
Yeah, because you could have just taken him as a solo Deep Striker.
Right. And just rapid ingress him in and just gone after things. But he's now tied down to those guys.
It's like the E-Champ, dude. The E-Champ you have to be leading to get Deep Strike for some reason. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I do like that he has Deadly Demise. It's silly, but it's fun.
It's funny. Dude, I think that who in T-Suns has Deadly Demise? Is it the Infernal Master? Because I always fucking forget about it.
I didn't know Infernal Master has one if he does.
It may. It's one of the characters for sure has Deadly Demise.
Yes, I'm talking. I'll go find it.
It might be. 1 second. I need to find. I'm going to scroll through this. Where is Invocatus's data sheet?
Invocatus.
I guess I forgot to just pull. Brother, please.
Bloodfoot's dead.
Work with me. Oh, you're just underneath Kharn. I just skipped them.
You fucking skipped it.
So, he also lost. He went to Ballistic Skill 3, but no Rapid Fire. I don't get that, but he still leads 8-bound Exalted 8-bound Berserkers. His melee is the exact same, I think. It looks the exact same. 7 attacks, 4 attacks. Yeah, it looks the same. So before he gave everything Scout, he no longer does that, unfortunately. Or gave 2 things Scout. He does give the unit that he's inside Deep Strike, and then they go through walls, just like the normal Juggernaut. And then he now does Mortals on the Charge, like the other Juggernaut did.
If you're gonna have a fucking mounted character lead an infantry unit, why did they not all have that rule, like from the beginning? What's the point?
Which you could. He's one of the guys that you could take 20 Berserkers with, and you could rapid ingress them, but then it's good luck fitting 20 dudes somewhere they're not getting shot.
Dude, that's crazy.
He's okay. I don't think you'll see him as much as you did. Now that he doesn't give just stuff Scout anymore.
Yeah.
And Nick, you want to talk about regular 8-bound?
Regular 8-bound. This might be the dash sheet I'm pretty happy with out of like a lot of them. 5 attacks is a good amount of attacks. 822 is a good melee profile. The stuff they want to go into, they're getting +1 to hit, so they're hitting on 2s. If you get the +1 to wound, so be it. But like, there's a lot of detachments in this book that like that profile, and this unit can flex and kill elite infantry, can kill chaff, and it can kill larger things too with some of the strats, and even with leader support. I'm pretty high on 8-bound. They're a little pricey, but I like them a lot.
How much do they cost?
$150 for 3, I think is their cost.
Yeah, it went up. Which, if anything was going to go up, I think their rule now is slightly better than what it was.
Yeah,
I think 150 is okay. I think it could probably stand to be a little bit less than that, especially without the field no pains, because they can't just. Yeah.
Like a 3-up, I would like 3-up base save, 4-up pinball.
I mean, everything that you're sending that, like, you're not going to throw them into a tank, so like they're going to be hitting on 2 strength 8 AP2 damage 2. Like that's a very, very efficient profile.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's It's good. It's good data sheet.
Getting +1 to hit's very good. I do. You're about to see it, but I love how their melee is just chain blades. They had a bunch of different profiles. They had 3 different profiles before. Now it's just chain blades. Look, Exalted 8-bounds are also just chain blades.
What the fuck? What?
These things.
They're chain blades, but bigger.
They really are.
And they're coming out the hands.
Oh no. I don't like these nearly as much as I did. They lost a ton of strength. They were strength 14, 13 before, which they're still anti-monster, anti-evil 3s. So they were winning them on 3s usually before.
Yeah.
Anyways, they lost the fallback strat, and then now it's just anytime a monster vehicle falls back, you have to take a desperate escape.
Thank God. Thank God, dude.
You say thank God. On a 1 or a 2, that full wound tank I tagged is just...
Yeah.
True.
And if you hit it hard enough and it failed its battle shock in the following turn, it's failing on 1 through 3, right? For the desperate escape?
Dude, at least with a monster or a vehicle, you could still potentially shoot them in combat, as long as it's not a blast weapon, right?
That's one of the reasons I don't like this as much. Is because most of the time I feel like you're going to end up staying in combat anyways.
Dude, it's way worse. Yeah, that's definitely way worse.
160?
Yeah, 160 for 3.
Nah, no feel, no pain, nah.
They're also hitting on a 3 with no way to improve it to a 2 with only 4 attacks. That's really bad.
They're right there in like Flawless Blades territory for me for not enough volume.
Dude, I think that Flawless Blades might even have the edge on these guys.
Yeah, with all the rules that Blades get.
You could. You can make them hit on 2s if you have regular 8-bound next to them. Because the 8-bound get plus 1 to
aura?
Oh no, it doesn't work on vehicles.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah. Before they hit on 3s before, but at least you could bring Angron next to them and get all the rerolls.
Yeah. How many attacks did they get before?
3
It was 3, and then they got +1 on the charge from the detachment. And then the leader had 5, but they were twin linked.
Yeah. The leader,
They're
lost
way
the leader
worse in the
attacks.
infantry now, though.
I mean, you're still wounding Space Marines on 2s.
Yeah, and it's AP3 at least.
The
I
biggest
think
thing
I'm
about
viewing it from the lens of like a Custodes player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before you had 2 profiles. You had a sweet profile that was 6 attacks that did hit on 2, strength 7, AP2 damage 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah, in Berserker Warband it was like that, yeah.
They definitely made these things have 2 completely different. Like, you only want to send this into tanks usually, and you only want to send these into infantry.
Yeah.
But I think these are a lot better, and they still scout. Nick, you talk about Berserkers because you like them way more than I did.
Yeah, as someone who owns 60 Berserkers, I'm not too happy with going to strength 4. It feels very bad, and it still blows my mind to this day that things like the Primaris Crusader squads have 5 attacks each, but the premier melee battle line of the Chaos regime is only 4 attacks at strength 4. Give me a break.
Yep,
true.
It's bad.
They're also pointed very badly, I feel like.
How much do they cost?
180.
That's the minimum. Doesn't make sense, right? So I just got into Emperor's Children, so they're direct equivalent or infractors, which you can take as a 5-man. So it's really appealing to take a character with them to buff the character. Mm-hmm. But these guys, they just Blood Surge now?
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so they're not getting reroll wounds. You have to take them in 10 or 20 mans. That's fucking bad, dude. And they're only the champion gets the fucking eviscerator, so everybody else just has chain blades.
No, you get 2 per 5 or 1 or 2 per 10. I mean.
Okay, so you get 2, and then you have 8 chain blades, but the chain blades profile is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay in Berserker Warband, but that's the only detachment that it's okay.
Infractors get fucking precision, just natty. What the fuck?
And the reroll wounds.
Well, you compare these to Assault Intercessors, which is probably the closest comparison as far as points are concerned. And they have the same amount of attacks. It's the same profile. They get full wound rerolls when you fight an objective, which is where you want to be fighting anyways. Mm-hmm. And then you have Oath of Moments and all this other good stuff to stack on top. It's what are we doing here? Why are we 10 man?
Yeah. And Berserkers are more expensive than Infractors. Are they more expensive than
Assault Intercessors? Are 75 points for 5, so 150 for 10.
Okay, so they're cheaper.
But you don't ever take them in 10 mans. You don't need them in 10 mans.
True. Yeah, that's bad. What was can y'all guess at all what the reasoning was behind locking them to fucking 10 and 20 mans?
No.
It makes no sense.
It's they were talking before the leaks came out. They wanted this army to play like Black Templars, right? And so if they want this army to play like Black Tide, then why did they get rid of Feel No Pains?
Yeah.
This army just folds. You 100%. Play Emperor's Children. It's the same defensive profile. We're not more defensive than Emperor's Children. No. Yeah, they just get picked up.
Yeah, they just die. And you don't. There's nothing else that you could take for the same amount of points that trades on points for a cheap trade unit. You could take Chaos Spawn, which Chaos Spawn are hit hard, but they're not killing 10 cards.
I mean, that's a fucking problem. That your cheapest, what's supposed to be your trading unit, your skirmish piece is a fucking 100 and what'd you say, 80 points?
Yeah.
Huh?
So their new ability, instead of getting to reroll a dice, now every time you destroy an enemy unit, whenever you make your next roll, you get to roll an additional one for every unit they've killed, which is kind of cool.
I mean, that's cool. They're not fucking killing anything besides cultists. Yeah. And even then you're trading into a fucking 55-point unit. What are we doing?
It's bad. It's very bad. Hopefully they go down in points. It's Terminators, ballistic skill 4.
You need these 5 Terminators that I'm not using for Emperor's Children, dude.
Sure.
Unfortunate.
So this is the first of a lot of data sheets that gained almost everything gained rapid fire besides pistols, and then everything lost a ballistic skill.
Okay.
I never used Terminators before. I never ran like that 30 Terminator list, so I don't.
I did. One last hoorah running Red Stoties, that last RTT a couple weeks ago. And yeah, this unit does not play like it used to. It was before, when you lost a model, you got +1 to hit, and when you got below half strength, you got +1 to wound. So like mathematically, removing models from the Chaos Terminator squad, it kept its lethality almost all the way down to like 3 models left in the unit. And this thing functions completely different and is not worth the points.
Did their points change?
I think in the leaks they went to 370, if I'm not mistaken.
10.
370, yep, 370 for 10, yep.
Fuck that, dude. What the fuck?
It's great. 20 Berzerkers is 10 points less. Yeah. These things just don't move as fast. Which moving 7 is cool for a Terminator, but these things moved flat 11 before and charge something.
Yeah, you also could give them Scout with Lord of Macaws, which is how you played that Red Stoties. One started off the board and the other 2 started on, and you scouted them up. Your opponent had to respect the fact that you had 7 inches of move with a 6-inch auto advance and charge.
Yup. They're just zooming. Now they're faster than normal Terminators, but
their fucking ability is like making them reroll the hit roll for ranged attacks, and their range seems kind of dog shit.
Yeah, it's not.
That's bad.
The Reaper autocannon puts out a lot of attacks because now you get 2 autocannons, right?
So for 10, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so you get 12 shots at sustained hits with rerolls, but it's AP 1, damage 1. It'll kill Chaff.
360 points. It's 360 points. I hope that a fucking 360 point unit can kill fucking Chaff, but my guy. You know what I'm saying?
And then you get to reroll the charge roll, but you could get out already with blessings, so it's whatever.
Yeah. Or a CP.
Jackals! I don't think anything changed. Other weapons lost sustained.
Yeah. They lost sustain on 2 of their weapon profiles. And then their sticky objective, the verbiage on it changed to be more in line with how GW's been doing it, where it checks at the end of the phase now instead of start or end of turns.
Updated it. They lost Feel No Pains. They gained a pip of their T4 now, and then they gained 1 inch of movement also.
It's okay.
Yeah, still worth the points.
They're also not battle line anymore.
What?
They are only battle line in the detachment that wants you to take Jackals and Goremongers.
So who's your battle line now?
Just Berzerkers. That's it.
It's
kind of like how Gretchen are only battle line in the button detachment.
Yeah.
The Dread Mob. I guess we just keep calling it the fucking button detachment.
I guess we can be happy we at least have cultists, because I think Death Guard lost their cultists, right?
They did. Yep.
And Emperor's Children don't have cultists, so
cultists are such a good tool to use.
They are. T-Suns, I'd imagine, won't, just because they also didn't have named cultists. They're just called cultists, right?
I mean, we have Zangor too, which can kind of fill that niche.
That's true.
But I would assume that the cultists would go away. They've been selling the fucking combat patrol with 20 Zangors in it for forever, so give the people what they want.
But, I mean, Jackals, they do what Jackals do. They're fun. T4 might be better than having a Feel No Pain, maybe. This guy!
Oh, bro.
So, this dude we lost before. If you had double fists, you got twin linked. Now, if you have 2 melee weapons, you get +2 attacks. Still has the same ability to, after you get punched, you get to punch back.
An insane ability.
With the 6-inch pile-in and consolidate now. Bing, 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 bing. This dude could just...
That's true, because you have to attack if it gets in engagement range. That's crazy.
And any strat where you could put on him that is until the end of the phase, when he first activates, will just persist all the way through. So, like any of the plus AP or +1 to wound or reroll, I don't think you can give him reroll wounds, but there are some ways to give him +1 to wound, and he'll just go ape shit.
How many points does it cost?
120?
120? He's cheap.
Bro,
Very
you're
cheap.
running 3 in every list. What the fuck? That's insane.
It's very good.
Yeah.
I know. I personally kind of think I'm leaning towards taking the fist and the scourge, just because the scourge helps with killing like the fist isn't going to kill a squad of 10 dudes, but the scourge probably doesn't on average too, but you'll kill a lot more.
Yeah. Can you do hammer scourge?
No, you have to pick one or the other.
Okay.
Let me ask you this question. It's your turn, and, well, let me back up. Let's say it's my turn, and I fight into it first, and then it attacks. Does that count as its activation?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't get to fight from the rule and then fight again.
Okay. Unless it gets attacked.
Yeah, unless it gets attacked by something else. But
dude, that's crazy. That's an
they
awesome
moved
rule.
7 before or 8. I don't remember. I never used one before.
I don't remember. I think it was 8.
Moving 9, pretty fast.
Dude, that's great. T9
It was
with
6.
8 wounds with a
They
2
moved
up
to
save.
6 before.
You moved 6 before?
Wow.
Yo.
Yeah, dude.
Upgrades. People upgrades.
I'm not gonna lie. I think you legitimately run 3 of these in every list. That's crazy. That's such good value.
In Berserker Warband, it goes up to 9 attacks, because if you take double melee, and it goes to straight 14 AP2 damage 3.
Pretty good.
Fuck, dude.
It's pretty good.
And you have +1 AP in that detachment too. So like even the Scourge, you go to like 13 attacks at 922. That's pretty money.
Yeah, 13 attacks, 922. That's yeah. And it's like you said, you pop the strat once, and he's got it for the rest of the phase.
Yeah, I'll double check that's how that strat's worded.
Yeah, he's
until the end of that phase, improve AP by 1. Yep, he'll just keep it.
Dude, Warriors is becoming the Daemon Edges for me.
A lot of these Demon Engines look good, dude.
Yeah.
Goremongers. I think this is the exact same as they were before. I don't think anything changed at all.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, everything's the exact same. They went up a toughness. I think they just went up on toughness. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They're just infiltrating it. They're good.
Yeah, they're a little bit pricey for what, like, you can't jail with them and feel like you did well because they're 85 points. They're not like Nurglings or Poxwalkers or anything, but they're going to be important if you have a lot of scout moves to keep your scout lanes open.
Scout, or just to stop a jail, potentially.
Yeah.
A Defiler. Never used one of these before.
His rule's cool. His new rule's cool.
Massive.
What's it go? You want to talk about his new rule?
Yeah, he got that Unleash Wrath ability that at the end of your opponent's move phase, you can shoot things or declare a charge, which is crazy.
That's very good.
He only hits on 4s though, and I don't think he has any way to get rerolls anywhere, so it's kind of whatever. The charge is very interesting.
That ability is at the end of your opponent's movement phase. So if they're trying to deep strike something in, like that's a shooting threat, and you put it within charge distance of the Defiler, you could just completely stymie your opponent's plan. That is so good.
Yeah, this is going to be great. Let me see. Defiler is 180.
10, 14 minutes. That's not terrible.
No, like his chassis is good for 180. He's OC 5, and this that ability to charge at the end of the move phase is like anybody who has 6-inch deep strike shenanigans is not going to want to use them around him.
No.
Yep.
No. 100%.
But he's still on that Soul Grinder bottom, and anybody who's played with a Soul Grinder knows that there's some terrain layouts that it just not jive with at all.
Yeah,
especially in WTC format,
base, right? It's just legs sticking out.
Yeah,
he's cool. It's a cool ability.
Yeah,
Land Raider, dude.
Land Raider, brother.
So his abilities are all the same. I don't know if his points changed at all.
No, I think they stayed at 240.
You know what he does get though is 8 las cannon shots.
Yeah,
which they do hit on 4s, but.
Well, I saw that first.
Very hard.
Yeah, I saw the hits on 4s first. I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of in line with what they're doing. And then looked over and saw the rapid fire, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Does it have 2 last cannons?
Yeah, it has 2 soul shatter last cannons, and it's 2 shots rapid fire 2 on each one.
Fuck. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
8 shots.
Holy shit. Yeah.
It also has 9 attacks in melee. I don't think it had 9 attacks.
Yeah, what the hell? No. So it's 10 attacks at strength 10 in Berserker Warband?
Yeah, and you could make him AP1 damage 1 if you wanted
That's
to.
cute. The twin heavy bolter being rapid fire too is also pretty
dude,
money.
Honestly, for picking up like Primarchs or like even Grav Tanks, that's a really good profile for the last cannons, because AP3 means that you're pushing it to their invul, and then Strike 12 means you're wounding them on a 3. That's pretty good.
I kind of want to maybe play around with taking one in Gore Track just because you can Kool-Aid Man it through a wall with Berzerkers.
Shit.
You know what
Berzerkers are 8 pound.
This profile, the Soul Shatter Last Cans being hitting on 4s and having like a high volume reminds me of like back in early 9th edition, before the mech guns got changed in Orcs. Like, I think it was a Bubble Chukka, had like a 36 damage ceiling, but it hit the variants of doing low damage and high damage were so far. But the fact that it had the ability to do that made people play very cautious around it, especially with their Primarchs.
Yep.
Like, look, it probably won't do that much, but it could.
But it could.
It could. Is this the universe? Do I believe
it? It is a dice
game,
dude.
It do be.
I kind of like it. I think it's just so many last cannon shots. It could swing. So
yeah,
dude, this guy looks so fucking good, bro.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it does hit on 4s now, but all of its guns get rapid fire. The autocannon's rapid fire 4.
Hitting on 4s is fine.
You get to reroll all hits if you're targeting closest eligible within 18.
I know how I see this going is you have 2 Forge Fiends that you start in fucking Strat Reserve, potentially, and then just bring them off the board edge to fuck 1 unit, specifically.
Yeah.
I kind of like running 3 of these, and you take one with you could take one with the autocannon, because then you get 20 shots at 812, and you can keep the jaws on it. So you could send this thing into the middle of the board and wipe out, shoot something, and then charge something else, because you get 8. It would go even Berserk Warband 9 attacks at 912.
I think a lot of lists are going to run at least 2 Forge Fiends. With how pillow fisted a lot of the melee has gotten in this detachment, I think you need to bring some form of shooting, and the Forge Fiend right now is, I think, at the top of that list.
Well, with, like you said, how soft the damage has gotten, like, your opponent's just going to be able to position and do whatever they want because there's not a ton of threat to their units. But if you poke out 2 Forge Fiends to be able to be like, hey, don't just fucking put shit wherever you want in the shooting lanes.
Yeah.
I could, you know?
Because even shooting a unit of Terminators or Custodes, it's blast rapid fire, so it's a max of 9 plus it's max 15 attacks if you shoot. Right, because it's 5 per ectoplasm cannon.
Yeah.
15 attacks at 10-3-3, hitting on 4s re-rolling.
Yeah, that's a great profile.
Imagine being the World Eaters mirror match and that 20 or the 10-man Berserker unit sticks out and you point this at it. It's like, bye.
That's disgusting. I think this is hitting on 4s re-rolling better than hitting on 3s.
Surely.
Yes. It's slightly better.
And you get the rapid fire attacks.
It's also T10 with 12 wounds and it moves 10 inches.
And it's got an envelope.
True, 3 at 5 up.
Yeah, I think 2 of these will be in almost every list. They're very good.
I think they have to be. I don't think it's an option at this point.
Yup, you need them. Oh, 1 second, I need to scroll down. There wasn't anything on this. No. Mauler Fiend. Also gain rapid fire. Hits on a 4. Whatever. Why does he have 8 attacks?
Dude, I think the Emperor's Children equivalent is only 6 attacks.
This dude hits harder than Fulgrim.
True.
Too soon?
Yeah, because then you get to add 1 to the charge roll if you're charging something below starting, and then if you charge below half, you get 2 to the charge roll, and then +1 to hit if you're below starting, and then +1 to wound if you're below half. I think these are pretty good. It's just so many attacks.
That's so good. Like the Savage Excultation, is that how you pronounce that? Like, that's such a good rule to have on a chassis that can tank shock. Because even if you haven't shot it and weaken it up, you can get it below it starting on just a tank shock and hit on 2s.
True.
Hit on 2s. I think you probably take the Tendrils over the Magma Cutter. I don't think you ever need the Magma Cutter.
Yeah, you take extra attacks all day.
Dude, what's up with World Eater's Daemon engines, dude? That shit's crazy.
They're good.
Yeah, it's funny because they talked about when World Eaters lost their was it the Blood Harvester or whatever it was, the They're like, don't worry, you'll get your demon engines when your codex comes out. And like, there was no extra demon engines in this codex, but they showed these ones some love.
They're good.
Yeah.
Dude, how are you going to decide?
150
Or do
apiece
you just
also.
take...
I think you bring one Mauler Fiend if you're going to take a Mauler Fiend. They just don't operate. With how big the Berserker squads are now, like the lanes are going to get gummed up. There's only one detachment that lets you go through walls with these. Like, I think like one is acceptable, two might be excessive.
Yeah. Well, they moved 12 now. I didn't
Yeah.
see that.
They fast. They zoom in.
fast.
I think they're very fast. You could even, I mean, you could put one in reserve. Getting +2 to the charge if you're charging something below half is really good.
Yeah.
I like them. I like both of them. I never ran either of these, so I don't really know what they did before.
No. And hitting on 4s now on your ballistic skill is just like, it's whatever, man.
It did get rapid fire too. Before it was just one shot. Now it's 3 shots.
Mm-hmm. Twin Link's nice.
You don't get to reroll the hit roll either.
Yeah.
No.
And you're already rerolling the wound roll and damage roll into vehicles anyway.
Yeah.
Monsters and vehicles, so Twin Link doesn't really matter.
Right. They're just going to pop smoke on you. You're going to hit on 5s with no rerolls, and that's going to do nothing.
It's not going to matter. This one, dude, I got so excited when I was reading this at first. I was like, dude, this thing's rapid fire 6 now? This thing's disgusting.
Yeah.
But it lost the extra pip of AP it got.
Yeah, now it has a suppression
That's a
roll,
big
which is
deal.
bad.
Yeah. Which this roll's not terrible, but this gun, AP 1, you're not. You wanted to shoot this into elite infantry.
Yeah.
You're not shooting that in elite infantry.
When you compare this to the Death Guard version, it's night and day different. One of these is going to be an auto include, the other one is going to be an auto put back on your shelf.
Just going to bag it back up.
Rhino.
Rhino.
These are good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
So
reactive
what's the
disembark is
play? What do you use that with? Because I was trying to picture it in my head, like when that would work with a melee dominant army. What's the use? What do you do?
So, like, for example, like you can have a Rhino in a ruin where your opponent can't interact with it. And say, for example, they get area denial and they need to come to the middle to score it. And it's like, cool, you came within 9. I'm going to disembark these Berserkers right in your face. It's like, now you can't score air denial unless you clear me. But if you shoot me, I'm blood surging into the unit that you just sent up to area denial. And so, like, what do you do? Especially if you didn't position enough pieces to be able to account for that.
True. Are Berserkers OC?
Yes.
So you can potentially use it to flip objectives too.
Yeah.
That's good.
I like this new ability a lot because before all it had was what, heal a wound, that was it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like this a lot for my style of play. The way I've always been playing World Eaters is a more of a mid-board control army, and I love this ability.
Yeah, this is good. It also gained rapid fire, but who cares? You weren't ever shooting with this thing.
No.
Not. It didn't gain a movement either. I guess they didn't want the moving 14 inches.
Probably for the best since Vortrek has assault ramp.
That's true. This dude got upgrades, people. Not in his ability, but I mean his ability is pretty good, but got +4 inches to move?
Dude, the Lord of Skulls is one of the models that I would consider to be oppressive whenever you're playing against it, just because it's so hard to shift. It is so hard to pick up whenever it just fucking goes out, you know?
This dude's disgusting. Every single gun gained rapid fire. It does hit on a 4 now, and you can't get rerolls.
Dude.
But I mean, the Demon Gore cannon, it was D6 a shot. Now it's D6 +3. If you're, I guess you have to be within 9 for rapid fire. But the skull earlier is 2D6 +3. I like this. Both of his weapons gain extra attacks. This gained 1. This gained 3. I'm pretty sure it was 15 before.
This got hit harder than Angron?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
How many points is he?
Not
505.
He went up a lot. He went up like 55 points.
Golly.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Your Mo's went down so much that you can afford the price increase on the Lord of Skulls.
It's an offset, dude.
The point increase is honestly worth it. I mean, he gained an extra attack, so now he'll have 2 extra attacks compared to before, or 1 extra compared to old before, if you were Berserker. His sweep's good. I mean, his damage, that's max damage Angron could do. Yeah.
Damage.
It's very good. He gained 4 inches of movement, and he has the Titan ability now where he can just go through walls, and on a 1, he's battle shocked.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's huge.
Yeah. That is huge.
Yeah, this. I think you could play this and it not be super memey, maybe.
I'm going to try
expensive.
it. That's crazy.
I think that's the last normal. Yeah, that's the last World Eater. That is shit. Now we get to talk about demons.
Demons.
This is just better Angron now too. I feel.
No.
Yeah. He got faster? Scarbrand, didn't he used to move only 8?
He was 8. Whenever they did the update for all the demons, they gave him
Yeah.
10, and he can advance and charge now.
I knew about the advanced charge. I didn't realize he went to 10 as well. That's pretty good.
Dude, he
They
doesn't
gave him
move
+2.
14 because he got hole in the wings.
Yeah.
He is a little slow. He does hit like a truck though,
True.
and he's only 305 points.
Yeah. He's almost as tough as Angron because not having that 2-up armor is a big deal.
Oh, he's got 4 more wounds. Is he a Blood Legion unit?
Yes.
Mhm.
You can
So
only take
all
him
of his
in one
attacks are
attachment.
actually 9 attacks and 17 attacks?
Yes, yeah, he gets his own buff.
Oh.
And my favorite thing about him is whenever he's wounded, he just gets more attacks. He doesn't get bracketed. You just
Oh.
piss him
That's
off. More.
crazy.
It's like
That's
Gaz's old rule,
hilarious.
right? I think Gaz
Yes.
used to do that back in the day. He just got more mad.
Dude, that's
I
awesome.
love it. He goes to 11 attacks if he's below or at 7 wounds.
Yeesh.
Dude, that's awesome.
And his flamer got a lot. Was it always 2d6?
I don't know. In my head, it was just D6.
2d6 flamer at 811 is pretty good.
Great days.
Elves hate this one trick.
Yeah, too bad they just turn it off now.
Yeah, for real.
True.
Hate it. He's pretty good. I like him for 305 points. Bloodthirster.
Bloodthirster. Wait, where's this damage 2 melee weapon?
Right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
At-
that should
at
be the only
strength
one he
10.
has, right? Oh.
He does actually just hit harder than Angron. I think does Angron have one more attack than he does? Angron has one more attack, but he has more AP and 2 more strength. He just doesn't have dev wounds. That's all. He's also 305 points. You can put an enhancement in the 1 detachment spoilers, so you give him a 2-up armor save. And then he's just better Angron. Just moves a little bit slower.
Yeah.
He gives everything +1 to hit all the Blood Legion units around him, so it's very hard to make him hit on a 3. You gotta give 2 units. And then at the end of the fight phase, somehow, if whatever he's in engagements with, it's still engagement, he does an average of 4 mortals
You
to
roll
him.
D6. That's awesome.
Yeah. And it's at the end of the fight phase, so he could kill whatever he's fighting and then consolidate into something else.
Christmas
True.
mortals. Merry Christmas.
True.
Yeah. I like him. He's also just kind of cheap. I think he goes to like 330 with the enhancement. He's not as fast, but you could put him on the table or rapid ingress him potentially.
Yeah.
Want to talk about blood crushers, dude?
Blood crushers are still good. It's like, yeah, their dash sheet didn't change much. Like they lost what they had a 4-up before, 4-up invul,
did
and
have
then
a
they moved to the 5-up. Their mortal wound brass stampede is still great because it goes to the whole unit. It's not what's in engagement range, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like where this unit really shines is in what's on its dash sheet. It's what that demon detachment can do with it.
You put him with the Lord on Juggernaut, and then they can move through walls now.
Yeah. That was always the big problem with them is that being mounted, they couldn't go through walls. So your delivery of them in like demonic incursion was either off of Bellicor or you had to bring a bloodthirster to do it.
These things get a lot of attacks. And doing it's 7 units that on a 4-up, it's D3 mortals. That's a lot of mortals very quickly.
Yeah.
You can
I
even
didn't
kill
see this
something with
D3
this.
mortals. That's
It's
insane.
D3 for
Yeah.
7 dice, and every 4-up is D3 mortals. You could kill something with that and then 6-inch pile into something.
Dude, that's awesome.
And then they just get a lot of attacks.
Oh, yeah, because those are extra attacks.
Mhm.
That's good.
You get 6 guys with that many attacks. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a way to do it in this codex, but in the demons one, their leader gives all their horns dev wounds. So they spike the mortals on the charge and then their horns also get the dev wounds. It's pretty
Man.
potent.
Which you could do that if you take the Devwound blessing and you have that buff purchased.
Yeah. Did he stay in the demons refresh that they just recently did?
I think he did, but he's not in this codex.
Right, yeah.
One thing that's weird about, I'm sure people talk about this. So whenever the dude is leading these guys in that one detachment, he gains the faction keyword, but
Yes.
he still has the faction ability.
Right.
I don't think that's intended, but because he just changes his keyword to Blood Legion, but his faction ability stays the same, so he still has blessings.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's intended or not. Whoa. Did I?
Flesh
Oh, there
hounds.
was. I skipped blood letters. Whoops.
And the dogs.
Oh, whoa!
And the dogs.
What's the dog doing?
They're bloodletters.
They're good. Their ability is great.
They're nuts with the one in a lot of stratagem we'll talk about here in a minute. These things are nuts.
Yeah. Makes me sad that you can only take them in that one detachment.
Dude, it's because you'd take 2 of them in every single list.
Yep.
They up you downy at the end of your opponent's turn, and then they go into reserves, but they have deep strike, so it's 75-point unit. You just get to teleport every turn.
True. They got a 3-up Feel No Pain to psychic attacks? Oh, I thought it was psychic attacks and mortals. That's kind of whatever.
It is 2 wounds apiece, though, with the 5 of Bimbal, so you gotta shoot a little bit into him to kill him. You don't want to leave one alive, because then it's so much easier to fit one dude somewhere.
Yup.
Yeah, these things, I think you take, if you were running the 1 detachment, I think you take 2 of them at minimum.
Yeah, and this one unit, and like something you don't see on its data sheet, is its size. They're like on the pill, not the pill bases, but the old biker bases.
Mm-hmm.
And a single 5-man like strung out screens out like your entire deployment zone just about.
Yeah.
And so like at the end of your opponent's turn, every time you just pick it up, put it back down. And then when turn 3's over, you don't need it anymore, they can just go do whatever. So you don't have to hold anything back. This one unit can do it for you.
Yeah, they're very, very good now. I need to get a Demon's Combat Patrol. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope you appreciate it. This was us talking about the new World Eaters Codex. I don't think it's as bad as everyone is saying it is. Besides Angron, he sucks.
True. And Berzerkers.
Why are they not in 5-mans anymore? But thank y'all so much for watching. I was Colton, my co-host Taylor, and our guest Nick. Let us know what y'all thought about it, why you are going to still be taking Angron, because you're a casual player, but that's fine. Let us know.
That's toxic.
Yeah.
We're the best. You're the best. Thanks for watching. Peace.